There is a space within us, is there not, where clarity seems to vanish, where purpose feels like a mere echo from a distant shore. You recognize this place, this quiet ache, that profound weariness, not merely of the body, but of the very spirit, the confusion that clouds the soul, obscuring every path, the undeniable feeling that the answer from God, or perhaps the universe itself, remains shrouded behind an impenetrable fog. If you find yourself in this state, understand this crucial truth. You are not, by any measure, alone in this search. This sentiment, this universal longing for direction and understanding, is as ancient as humanity itself. But let us pause for a moment of genuine introspection. Where does this persistent sense of drift truly originate? Is it merely the tumult of the external world, or is it a more subtle internal misalignment, a disharmony within the very core of your being? Consider the quiet moments, those instances when the clamor of daily life recedes. What thoughts then surface? Do they lead you towards quiet certitude, or do they pull you further into an eddy of doubt and questioning? This is not a rhetorical exercise. It is an invitation to confront the very foundation of your current experience. What Napoleon Hill, through his profound work Outwitting the Devil, truly bequeathed us is far more than a simple theory of worldly success. It is a precise map, a detailed blueprint designed specifically to untie the intricate knots that bind your spirit. He understood with piercing clarity that true achievement, true peace, true spiritual connection cannot be built upon a foundation of internal chaos or unresolved fear. His insights pierce through the superficial layers of human experience, reaching into the fundamental principles that govern our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately, our destinies. This is not just a video. It is an urgent invitation to embark on a journey, an invitation to systematically uncover the insidious voices that have held us captive, to dismantle the subtle mechanisms of self-sabotage, and, crucially, to embrace the liberating truths that stand ready to set us absolutely free. Think of it as decoding a language, the language of your own subconscious, which often speaks in whispers of anxiety and echoes of past disappointments. We are not here to merely observe, we are here to understand, to apply, to transform. Hill's wisdom, distilled from decades of studying the most successful and the most challenged individuals, offers not a passive philosophy, but an active, participatory method for reclaiming your mental and spiritual sovereignty. It demands your attention, your honest assessment, and your willingness to look beyond conventional explanations for your present circumstances. Prepare your mind, then, for a session of profound and necessary reflection. For the journey we are about to undertake will challenge your assumptions, and if you allow it, redefine your very sense of possibility. This is where the true work begins. Now let us turn our gaze to the most insidious architect of human chains, the master strategist of stagnation. Hill, in his profound dialogue, introduces us to a metaphorical entity, the devil, whose greatest power, you must understand, resides not in overt malice or grand dramatic evil. No, its genius lies in a strategy so subtle, so cunning, it often escapes our notice entirely. He calls it drifting. This is not merely the act of procrastinating or postponing a task. It is far more fundamental, far more pervasive. Drifting is the art of subtly, slowly leading you to wander without a clear, definitive purpose. It is a state of mind, an insidious embrace of indecision and aimlessness, rendering you exquisitely vulnerable to every passing current of doubt, every whisper of fear, every shadow of failure. It is the absence of a chosen destination that invites the tempests of apprehension and defeat to seize control, to drag you effortlessly along. Consider for a moment the profound implication of this. If you have no fixed star by which to navigate, every breeze becomes a potentially destructive force. Every wave, no matter how small, threatens to capsize your vessel. This drifting is the very antithesis of a principle of success, the absolute necessity of a definite chief aim. Without that aim, that unwavering purpose, your mental faculties, your spiritual energy, your very will scatter like dust in the wind. Have you felt this dispersal of energy, this dissipation of focus? Have you allowed external pressures, the opinions of others, the path of least resistance to dictate your trajectory, rather than the unwavering compass of your own inner conviction? This is the fertile ground where the drifter finds his hold. This phenomenon, this drifting, transcends mere behavioral patterns. It signals a fundamental failure in what we might call the inaudible symphony of indecision, how drifting silences the spiritual voice. It is not merely a lack of productivity, it is a profound failure in spiritual attunement. When you lack a clear, overarching purpose, when your mind is permitted to meander without a guiding principle, you effectively mute your capacity to hear the divine direction. You deafen yourself to the subtle whispers of your deepest intuition, that inner compass designed to guide you towards your true calling. This indefiniteness creates a vacuum, a void within your spirit, and nature, as you know, abhors a vacuum. This void is then inevitably filled, not by your chosen aspirations, but by alien doubts, by fears imposed by societal expectations, by the illusion of a predetermined destiny that absolves you of personal responsibility. You begin to believe that the path presented to you, however unfulfilling, is the only path. This is the first illusion, the fear of choosing the wrong path. This fear, powerful as it is deceptive, leads you to choose no path at all. You remain suspended, frozen in indecision, convinced that inaction is safer than the potential for error. Yet this very inaction, this refusal to commit to a definite purpose, becomes the most profound error, the most dangerous trap. It is within this limbo of unchosen directions that the drifter truly thrives, feeding upon your uncertainty. When you fear to make a choice, to declare your purpose, you surrender your inherent power to shape your own reality. You surrender your capacity to co-create with the universal intelligence, allowing your spiritual connection to fray, becoming thin and indistinct. This is why the drifter finds such fertile ground in the uncommitted heart and the undecided mind. The spiritual voice cannot speak clearly into a void of indifference. It requires the focused intention, the burning desire of a definite chief aim to resonate and guide. Think of it. If you do not define your own spiritual quest, if you do not delineate the virtues you wish to cultivate, the service you aim to render, then the world, in its infinite chaotic wisdom, will define it for you, often leading you far afield from your truest, most authentic self. The drifter preys on this passivity, encouraging a comfortable stagnation, a gentle slide into mediocrity, always under the guise of safety or humility. But true safety, true humility, lies in knowing your direction, in trusting your inner guide, and in the courageous act of choosing your own spiritual and material destination. We have explored the subtle, paralyzing strategy of drifting, a surrender to aimlessness that silences the spiritual voice. Now, let us confront the formidable ally of this drift: failure. Hill, with his characteristic unflinching honesty, tells us that failure, in the hands of the metaphorical adversary, is its most potent tool for solidifying the grip of fear. It is designed to crush spirit, to confirm doubt, to reinforce the belief that persistence is futile. But what he revealed, what resonated through his own profound encounters with truth, is that the very nature of failure is radically, fundamentally different from what we have been painstakingly conditioned to believe. Failure, you must grasp this, is not an ultimate end, not a final judgment upon your worth or capability. It is, in its purest form, an encoded piece of information. Consider the common narrative we have absorbed from childhood, the pervasive social conditioning that paints failure as the ultimate defeat, a mark of inadequacy, something to be avoided at all costs. This deeply ingrained perception is a distorted lens through which we view every misstep, every deviation from the ideal. It is fueled by ego, by the relentless pressure of external expectations, by the fear of judgment from others, and perhaps most acutely, by the harsh self-judgment we inflict upon ourselves. This pervasive distortion actively prevents us from deciphering the profound, often inconvenient lessons that failure inherently carries. How often have you recoiled from a setback, choosing instead to interpret it as a personal failing rather than as a meticulously crafted message from the universe or from a higher intelligence, providing precise feedback on the alignment of your efforts with your true underlying purpose? This brings us to a concept of immense power: the failure as divine language. Deciphering the hidden message. What if every setback, every apparent failure is not a punishment but a communication? A subtle, sometimes jarring correction from the grand orchestrator of your journey. This is not a romanticization of pain, but a profound reinterpretation of its purpose. When an architect's blueprint fails to hold the weight of the structure, does he curse the failure, or does he meticulously examine the plans, seeking the error, the miscalculation, the missing component? He treats it as data, as information essential for correction and ultimate success. So too should you view your own perceived failures. They are not indictments, they are insights. They are moments where the universe says, adjust your course, reevaluate your assumptions. Your current path, or your current understanding, is not yet in perfect harmony with your highest good. Here lies the second illusion, the belief that perfection is defined by the absence of falls. This illusion is particularly cruel, for it sets an unattainable standard that guarantees perpetual disappointment and an avoidance of the very experiences that foster true growth. Mastery, genuine strength, resilience of spirit, these are never forged in an unbroken chain of successes. They are born from the crucible of adversity, from the repeated experience of stumbling, falling, and then, crucially, getting back up. It is in the act of rising, of dusting oneself off, of analyzing the fall with a clear and objective mind, that true mastery is cultivated. It is not the absence of the fall, but the wisdom gained from it, the unyielding determination to learn and adapt, that defines a truly perfected spirit. So how do we begin to engage with this divine language of failure? How do we break free from the cycle of self-condemnation and instead extract the wisdom, the hidden gems of insight? The practice is simple, yet profoundly transformative. You must review your failure. This is not an act of lamentation, not an indulgence in self-pity, but a detached, analytical inquiry. Ask yourself with absolute honesty, what precise adjustment, spiritual, mental, or practical, is being requested of you by this experience? Did the failure stem from a lack of faith in your abilities? From an insufficient definiteness of purpose? From allowing the opinions of others to sway your conviction? Was it an error in judgment, a flaw in planning, or perhaps a misreading of your own deepest desires? Every such question, pursued with genuine intent, unlocks a deeper layer of understanding. This process transforms failure from a dead end into a signpost, guiding you with unerring accuracy towards your true path, refining your vision, and strengthening your resolve. It reshapes your relationship with fear, making it not an enemy, but a necessary messenger. Having now unveiled the insidious nature of drifting and reframed failure as a profound, encoded message, we arrive at the very heart of liberation. Hill, in his meticulous analysis of the human condition, does not leave us lost in the labyrinth of self-deception and regret. He illuminates the path forward, offering what he calls the cryptographies, the decoded secrets that empower us to break these ancient cycles. The first foundational key is the establishment of a definite chief aim, or as I prefer to call it, a proposito principio definido. The second, equally vital, is the unwavering mastery over our own thoughts. These are not mere suggestions. These are the indisputable keys to freedom, to sovereignty over your own mental and spiritual domain. Let us delve deeper into this concept of a definite chief aim. It transcends the common understanding of setting a goal, a mere target to be hit. Instead, consider this aim not solely as an aspiration for material gain or worldly recognition, but as an expression of divine will or your highest calling on this earth. It is the articulation of your unique contribution, your specific imprint upon the tapestry of existence. When you consciously define this paramount objective, when you imbue it with passionate conviction and unwavering focus, you are engaging in an act of profound faith. Faith in your capacity, faith in the universe's support, faith in the very spark of divinity within you. This is not just planning, it is an act of spiritual declaration. This clarity of purpose, this singular focus, creates an invisible shield around your being. It becomes an impenetrable barrier against the very drifting we discussed earlier. With every action, every decision, every thought, if it resonates with this clearly defined purpose, it reinforces this shield, making you less susceptible to the currents of indecision and external influence. Your purpose becomes your anchor, your compass, your North Star in the tumultuous seas of life. The wisdom of the ages further supports this, moving beyond individual ambition to a collective strength. This leads us to the architecture of divine purpose, building bridges to faith through action. Your definite chief aim, viewed through this lens, is not merely a personal blueprint. It is an active, ongoing dialogue with the universal intelligence. It is an acknowledgement that you are a conduit for something greater, and your actions, when aligned with this higher purpose, become acts of profound faith. The clearer this purpose becomes, the more potent your actions. Every step you take in its pursuit, however small, becomes a reaffirmation of that faith, a concrete manifestation of your commitment. This is where the concept of an alianza mastermind spiritual comes into play. It is more than just forming a group with like-minded individuals, vital as that is. It is about consciously aligning yourself with the timeless wisdom of spiritual masters who have come before you, tapping into the collective consciousness of those who have successfully navigated similar paths. It is about honing your intuition, listening to that inner guidance that transcends mere logic, and connecting, consciously and deliberately, with the universal mind to guide and amplify your purpose. This alliance strengthens not just your resolve, but your capacity to receive insights and opportunities that might otherwise remain unseen. Yet, there remains a formidable hurdle, a pervasive mental block that keeps many from even initiating this transformative process. This is the third illusion, the belief that you must possess all the answers, all the perfect strategies, every conceivable detail before taking the very first step. This illusion paralyzes potential, because genuine purpose, your true calling, does not reveal itself in a single blinding flash of insight. It emerges, unfolds, and clarifies within the journey itself. It is through the act of beginning, of taking that initial courageous step, however imperfect, however uncertain, that the path ahead begins to illuminate. The answers you seek are often discovered not in passive contemplation, but in the active pursuit of your defined aim. The universe responds to motion, to intention, to the burning desire of a committed heart. Do not wait for absolute certainty, for that is the tactic of the drifter in disguise. Declare your aim, trust the unfolding process, and let your actions be the bridge between your current reality and your divinely inspired purpose. Having now firmly established your definite chief aim, and having reframed failure as a crucial coded message, you are no longer adrift, no longer paralyzed by the fear of misstep. What remains, what is absolutely essential for the actualization of your deepest desires and the manifestation of your spiritual purpose, is the deliberate activation of what Hill termed the cosmic force of habit. This is far more than mere routine. It is the fundamental mechanism by which your internal world shapes your external reality, the unwavering principle through which your intentions become tangible. It is your inherent capacity to mold your destiny through the consistent conscious choices you make, day in and day out. And it is precisely within this meticulously cultivated space, this sacred ground of disciplined action, that the very voice you seek, the answer from God or the universal intelligence, becomes not just audible, but crystal clear. Reflect upon this profound truth. Your life in its entirety is but a summation of your dominant thoughts and your established habits. What patterns have you allowed to take root within your mental garden? Have they been habits of procrastination, of self-doubt, of allowing fear to dictate your choices? Or have they been diligently cultivated habits of unwavering faith, of purposeful action, of persistent self-improvement? The cosmic force of habit is impartial. It merely amplifies and concretizes whatever you feed it. If you continually feed it doubt, it will manifest doubt. If you nurture unwavering belief in your definite chief aim, it will, with an almost divine certainty, bring that aim into physical form. This force is always at work, ceaselessly sculpting your experience. The question is not if it is operating, but what you are programming it to create. This brings us to a unique and often overlooked aspect of this principle: the resonance of faith in daily life. How small habits recalibrate the soul. It is a common misconception, is it not, to believe that spiritual transformation or the reception of divine guidance requires grand gestures, monumental acts of piety, or sudden miraculous epiphanies. But Hill's wisdom, deeply rooted in eternal principles, reveals a different truth. The cosmic force of habit manifests most profoundly in the daily recalibration of your spiritual being. It is not about reaching for gargantuan goals alone, but about the consistent, often quiet, micro-habits of thought, of gratitude, of intentional reflection, of selfless service that, over time, construct a powerful, undeniable resonance with the divine. These seemingly small acts, when performed with conscious intent and unwavering faith, build a vibrational frequency within you that aligns directly with the universal intelligence, allowing you to perceive, to understand, and to receive guidance that was previously beyond your grasp. Consider the immense power of persistent action, even when the omnipresent fear attempts to sabotage your efforts. This persistence in those small, deliberate habits, a daily meditation, a moment of heartfelt gratitude, a focused visualization of your purpose, a simple act of kindness, is, in its truest form, prayer in action. It is not merely words spoken, it is the living embodiment of your faith, the most potent and undeniable way to manifest your beliefs into reality. This is where your spiritual strength is forged, where your connection to the infinite intelligence is not just hoped for, but actively built and maintained. The drifter succumbs to the easy path. The individual, guided by purpose and habit, constructs their own path, brick by brick, thought by thought. We often search for the answer of God in dramatic external events. This is the fourth illusion, the relentless search for grand, miraculous answers, while ignoring the profound wisdom and precise direction that reveal themselves in the meticulous details and the unwavering constancy of your daily life. You expect a thunderclap, a blinding light, an undeniable sign. Yet, the answer frequently arrives as the intuitive wisdom that emerges from a mind silenced by discipline, from a heart aligned by conscious habit, from a spirit prepared by consistent focus on its definite chief aim. It is the quiet clarity that whispers guidance when you are still, the sudden insight that illuminates a complex problem, the unerring sense of knowing that guides your next step. This is not some esoteric mystery. It is the natural consequence of consistent mental and spiritual discipline. The divine speaks most clearly to those whose inner channels are free from the static of doubt and the noise of aimlessness. This connection, this inner voice, becomes your most reliable guide, your constant companion as you navigate the complexities of life, with purpose and unshakable confidence. You have journeyed with me through the intricate landscape of the mind and spirit. We have dissected the subtle sabotage of drifting, recognizing it not as a mere habit, but as a profound spiritual misalignment that silences your inner voice. We have bravely confronted the specter of failure, stripping away its power to paralyze and reframing it as a potent, encoded message from the universe, guiding you with unerring precision towards your true path. We then illuminated the undeniable power of a definite chief aim, understanding it as a divine declaration, an act of faith that creates an invisible shield against the forces of uncertainty. And most recently, we unveiled the cosmic force of habit, realizing that your consistent daily actions, however small, are the very engine of your manifestation, the conduit through which the answers you seek become undeniably clear. Now, stand at this precipice of understanding. You are no longer the one helplessly adrift, tossed about by every passing doubt or external demand. The architects of your former chains, fear and failure, are no longer your masters. They are now, if you have truly absorbed these lessons, your profound teachers, your stern but invaluable mentors. They have, through their challenging lessons, revealed the contours of your true purpose, the depths of your untapped resilience. The very answers you have been seeking, that profound connection with something greater than yourself, are becoming clearer. They are not resonating from a distant, ethereal voice, but from within the powerful resonance of your own heart, now aligned and focused. This is not the end of a lesson. It is the exhilarating beginning of your deliberate, empowered existence. Consider the profound shift that has occurred within you if you have engaged with these principles with genuine intent. You possess now not merely information, but transformative knowledge. You hold the blueprint for mental and spiritual sovereignty. The confusion that once clouded your path has begun to dissipate, replaced by the quiet certainty of your chosen direction. The weariness of spirit, that gnawing sense of aimlessness, is being systematically replaced by the invigorating energy of a life lived with intentionality. This transformation is not a passive event. It is an active, continuous process of conscious creation. You are now equipped with the tools, the insights, and the deep understanding necessary to steer your own course, to embrace challenges not as roadblocks, but as vital data points on your journey towards your ultimate defined aim. The path ahead will still present its trials. This is the nature of existence. But now, you face them with a different internal landscape. Your fear is no longer a paralyzing force, but a signal for deliberate action. Your setbacks are no longer defeats, but opportunities for refined strategy and deeper learning. Your purpose is no longer a vague aspiration, but a living, breathing guide that informs every decision, every micro-habit. This newfound clarity, this internal compass, is the most precious commodity you possess. It is the key to unlocking not just worldly success, but a profound and lasting peace, a spiritual fulfillment that transcends the fleeting circumstances of life. Embrace this power. Live these principles. The question then, the ultimate question, is this: what is the very first deliberate step of purpose that you will take, starting today, to reaffirm to yourself, to the universe, and to that higher power within you, precisely who you are destined to become? Do not let this moment of profound reflection pass without anchoring it in concrete action. Share your insights, your initial reflections, your chosen first step in the comments below. Let your declaration be a powerful affirmation of your commitment to your definite chief aim. If this message has truly resonated within your soul, if it has stirred the latent power within you, then signify its value. Leave your like and subscribe to this channel so that you may continue to delve deeper into these timeless principles, unearthing more secrets of a life lived not by chance, but by conscious design, with unwavering purpose and unshakable faith. Your true journey, empowered and enlightened, truly begins now.